The teasers dropped. The fandom went completely silent. And in an instant, the entire K-pop world was turned upside down.
Honestly, K-nets were absolutely spiraling online.
Totally. Imagine for a second that you're the architect behind one of the most wildly successful pop groups on the planet, right? You've poured your blood, sweat, and tears into curating their sound, their visuals, everything.
The formula works flawlessly. They get an all-kill in the charts. They become global superstars overnight.
Exactly. But then, almost as quickly as you built this empire, you find yourself locked in a multi-million-dollar legal war over the very artists you created. You're suddenly navigating leaked private messages, corporate espionage allegations, wiped laptops.
And a fandom that is basically tearing itself apart in real time.
Yeah. The headline everywhere right now is HYBE just leaked everything. Min Hee Jin is finished.
It sounds like a movie script, but this is the very real, super complex reality currently rocking the foundation of the K-pop world.
Welcome to Starscope K-Report. Join Eric and Minji as they ride the Hallyu wave, uncovering the biggest K-pop comebacks, shocking industry controversies, and major K-drama updates.
From internet-breaking rumors to historic chart milestones, we dive deep into the world of Korean entertainment.
And today's mission is a big one. We are objectively untangling the massive, ongoing corporate feud between K-pop giant HYBE, its subsidiary ADOR, and the former ADOR CEO, Min Hee Jin.
But before we get into the weeds, we have to make our stance on this crystal clear.
Yes, huge disclaimer here. We have a massive stack of sources in front of us. I mean, we're talking court rulings, leaked KakaoTalk chats, official agency statements, and press conference transcripts spanning from early 2024 all the way to mid-2026.
Right. And as we explore this timeline, we are completely impartial. We are not taking any sides between HYBE and Min Hee Jin.
Not at all. We are simply unpacking the claims and ideas contained in the original source material. So please don't come for us in the comments.
Exactly. No bias here. Our goal is to synthesize the timeline and decode the underlying legal mechanisms. Because it's easy to get lost in the corporate jargon.
It really is. It's like a corporate Game of Thrones.
But we have to ask, what does this actually mean for the human beings caught in the crossfire? You know, the idols themselves.
Right, the 5 members of NewJeans. To understand how they became central to this tug of war, we have to go back to the spark that ignited this whole thing.
The leaks.
Yes, the weaponization of highly sensitive, private communications.
So let's rewind to July 2024. The South Korean outlet Dispatch dropped a massive story by leaking internal KakaoTalk messages.
And KakaoTalk is, like, deeply ingrained in South Korean daily life. It's basically iMessage, WhatsApp, and your work email all rolled into one.
Right. And these specific leaks allegedly showed Min Hee Jin making incredibly inflammatory remarks about the NewJeans members.
Oh, it was bad.
Yeah, we're talking about messages, taking potshots at their weight, their appearance, and calling them, quote, immature kids who only got in trouble because they couldn't manage their diets. The cultural whiplash from that was severe. I mean, the group had been meticulously marketed on this platform of youthful authenticity and sisterhood.
Totally.
To read private messages allegedly from their creator expressing such resentment, it just shattered that illusion. She reportedly wrote that she felt she was doing all the heavy lifting, right? While the idols just looked in the mirror.
She even questioned if what they did could actually be called working. It's a brutal look behind the curtain, especially given the intense psychological pressure on these young artists.
But the leaks went way beyond just personal insults. They exposed internal corporate strategy.
Right, which pulls another HYBE subsidiary into the fray, Source Music.
Yeah, so Source Music filed a 500 million won lawsuit against Min Hee Jin.
Which is roughly $331,000 US.
Exactly. They claimed she intentionally sabotaged their release schedule. The lawsuit says she deliberately delayed the debut of a trainee group known as Team N.
Team N, which eventually became NewJeans.
Right. And they allege she delayed them so she could poach those specific trainees to debut under her own newly formed label, ADOR.
Which forced Source Music to totally pivot and debut Ellie, a Seraphim, first instead.
Yeah. And delaying a debut like that burns through massive amounts of investor cash.
Okay, let's unpack this for a second. How did these private internal text messages end up in the news in the first place? I mean, if these are chats from years ago, how did HYBE get their hands on them?
That triggered a fierce legal battle over digital privacy. So Min Hee Jin's lawyers claimed she handed in a company laptop 3 years prior, and crucially, she had completely wiped its data.
Oh, wow, so it was fully erased.
Right. She accused HYBE of illegally restoring the deleted data from a cloud network, basically under the guise of a routine corporate audit.
Wait, so she thought wiping the local hard drive was enough, but they just pulled the ghost data from the cloud.
Yeah, her lawyers argued it was a blatant violation of the Communication Secrets Protection Act. They said HYBE was just on a fishing expedition to find an excuse to fire her.
But the court didn't see it that way, did they?
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
In August 2025, a Seoul court actually accepted these KakaoTalk messages as legitimate evidence.
How does a court justify that if she didn't consent to the data recovery?
It hinged on a technicality. The court ruled it didn't violate the act because a staff member had voluntarily shared the password to access the system.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so because an insider granted access, it wasn't classified as an illegal hack.
Just one staffer handing over a password handed HYBE the exact weapon they needed. And if you love staying updated on your favorites, make sure you subscribe to Starscope K-Report. We've got even bigger scoops ahead because that is not even the wildest part of this controversy.
Not even close. Because those very same KakaoTalk messages were then used to basically trap the members of NewJeans in their contracts.
Right, let's follow that causal link.
Huh.
So in October 2025, a court ruled in favor of ADOR, which had ousted Min Hee Jin by this point, declaring that the exclusive contracts of the 5 NewJeans members were fully valid.
They couldn't just walk away.
Exactly, and the foundational evidence, Min's KakaoTalks.
The ruling cited a very specific exchange from February. An associate messaged Min saying, making them suffer and gaining freedom, referring to HYBE.
And Min allegedly replied, that would be nice.
Right. The court viewed that as a deliberate conspiracy to breach her fiduciary duties.
It gets crazier. The court noted she planned this massive public opinion campaign. The documents showed she instructed associates to draft emails using a, quote, middle-aged man's tone.
Yeah, she wanted them to sound like a NewJeans member's father, submitting a formal complaint to HYBE.
Literally corporate astroturfing.
Totally. The documents show her suggesting they use the members' mothers to complain to HYBE executives. It was a strategy to manufacture organic outrage without taking the lead herself.
Using the parents as pawns is just a wild PR strategy, and this intense maneuvering really fractured the group. Because even though the October ruling said all 5 contracts were valid, by December 2025, ADOR sued just one member.
Yes.
Just Danielle. They didn't sue the collective group. ADOR claimed Danielle seriously violated her contract by pursuing a $175,000 project with the U.S. band Emotional Oranges.
And they alleged she was secretly doing photo shoots with a major watch brand without ADOR's permission. Which in K-pop, brand exclusivity clauses are incredibly strict. You can't just casually endorse a brand.
Right. But the wildest accusation was that she had a double contract with a company backed by Chinese capital.
Yeah, and Chinese capital is a massive threat to HYBE.
Oh.
A rival with that much foreign backing could theoretically buy out penalty clauses.
Now, Danielle's side completely denied all of this, right?
Categorically denied it.
Yeah.
They accused ADOR of a divide-and-conquer strategy, basically targeting Danielle unfairly to make an example out of her without destroying the whole group's brand value.
But despite this lawsuit, rumors of a NewJeans comeback are just swirling online. Knets have been tracking them. Heron, Hyen, and Hani were spotted together in Copenhagen.
Yeah. And later, Heron and the Maknae Hyen were seen in the U.S. Plus, Minji has reportedly been in separate discussions with ADOR about returning to active promotions.
Which is fascinating. But taking a step back, the October 2025 court ruling set a massive precedent regarding the practice of tampering, right?
Oh, absolutely. The entire industry was watching this. Tampering is basically when companies illegally poach artists who are still under contract. The court's ruling was seen as a hard break on that.
Because it strikes at the heart of the K-pop financial model.
Yeah, it's essentially venture capitalism. Agencies front the cost for dormitory housing, vocal training, styling, everything for years.
A huge line of corporate credit extended to teenagers.
Exactly. And the judge stated that if an artist can just declare their contract invalid the moment they get a huge fandom, the whole K-pop business model collapses.
Right, they'd never see a return on investment.
Exactly. And later in this deep dive, we'll talk about the staggering plot twist where millions of dollars were just left on the table. So hit that subscribe button so you never miss a KT update.
Because the fight between the executives over money is mind-blowing. In February 2026, Min Hee Jin won a separate legal dispute against HYBE regarding her put option.
The court ordered HYBE to pay her 25.5 billion won. That's about 17.8 million US dollars.
$17.8 million. And the former HYBE CEO, Park Ji-won, pushed back hard on this payout.
Yeah, he argued the court's valuation was detached from reality. He specifically took issue with how the judge interpreted a text message he sent to Min that said, "Without you, ADOR's value is zero."
Right, the court used that text as proof of her worth.
But Park claimed it was just a negotiation tactic, corporate flattery to calm down a dissatisfied executive.
He also used the interview to categorically deny Min's claims of album pushing, basically artificially inflating album sales to manipulate the charts.
Yeah, he pulled out the receipts. He pointed out HYBE's album return rate was only 0.32%, proving their success is organic, not manipulated.
But here's where it gets really interesting, the climax of this whole thing. On February 25, 2026, Min Hee Jin held a massive press conference.
She's now the CEO of a new entity, Ook Records.
Right, and she made this unbelievable proposal. She offered to give up the entire $17.8 million.
Just walk away from the money entirely.
On one condition. HYBE had to immediately halt all civil and criminal lawsuits against her, the NewJeans members, former employees, and the fandom.
It was masterful legal theater. She framed it as a choice between corporate greed and the artist's mental health.
It's like walking away from a winning lottery ticket just to secure custody and a messy divorce, right?
Yeah.
She gets to stand before the stands and prove she values the girls over generational wealth. But did this actually end the fighting? Did HYBE take the deal?
They did not.
Wow.
As of June 2026, the legal clash is still raging.
Wait, really?
Yeah. In fact, that original $500 million lawsuit from Source Music about L.E. Esrafen's delayed debut, it's actively resumed.
They are still fighting over those KakaoTalk messages.
Yes. Source Music is now demanding the full, completely unedited transcripts from Min to prove their damages case. They argue the leaks were taken out of context.
And how did Min's side respond to that?
They flatly refused. They told the court that the original device containing the complete message history has been, quote, lost.
Lost. A device sitting at the absolute center of a multi-million-dollar corporate espionage lawsuit is just lost.
Yeah, the convenience of that missing device is staggering. Source Music is furious. They're trying to get a court order to get the data directly from one of the NewJeans members' mothers instead.
It just never ends. Let's try to distill this deep dive. What started as an internal dispute over the debut timeline of L.E. Esrafem and NewJeans
turned into a corporate war involving wiped laptops, ghost data restored from the cloud, and deleted group chats.
Not to mention $17.8 million put options and the tragic fracturing of one of K-pop's biggest acts.
And, why should the listener care? This isn't just celebrity gossip. It's a stark look at the machinery behind the Hallyu wave.
It really highlights the precarious power dynamic between massive entertainment conglomerates, the creative minds that build the brands, and the idols themselves.
Yeah, despite their immense fame, the idols are often treated as highly valuable corporate assets bound by ironclad contracts.
Which leaves us with a final provocative thought to ponder. If a creative director is truly willing to publicly sacrifice nearly $18 million for the freedom and mental peace of her artists.
What does that reveal about the true currency of the entertainment industry?
Exactly. Is it the money, or is it the ultimate, unquestioned control over the art and the artists themselves? It's something to think about.
You've been listening to Starscope K-Report, where Eric and Minji bring you the stories shaping K-pop, K-dramas, and the global Hallyu wave. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.